This week on Keeping It Real Estate is a good friend of mine, Gerald Henderson Jr., Henderson Ventures owner. I wanted to get a glimpse into what made him, give you guys an opportunity to see who he is beyond real estate and beyond the NBA. I'm looking forward to you all seeing this podcast. We're here. All right. We are here. I am with a very special guest today. Well, first, let me give my whole little spiel. Welcome to Keeping It Real Estate. You like that?
I like that.
I just made it myself, man. Keeping It Real Estate. You know, so
that's original right there.
It's original, you know. Not really, but you know. but no, I got a special guest or somebody that's special to me that is on the podcast today. A friend of mine from a few years ago. We actually were friends. He meet like at one point, and then he didn't know we were friends after that. And then we became friends again. And he was like, "I know you from somewhere." I was like, "Yeah, we were friends." So
is that how it went?
That's how it went. I will go through that story. I was at Piper Glen when we became friends. You had your first tournament there, the celebrity event.
I remember that.
You had the first celebrity event. You know, I got the
socks.
Oh
wow, he
on.
got the socks. Oh, this
socks.
Bam. This is planned right here. This is orchestrated.
Man. Come on, you gotta show respect to your guest. You know,
I like that.
But yeah, you know, that's how we met. But anyway, Gerald Henderson Jr. Is that right?
Sir.
Gerald Henderson Jr. So clap it up. Clap, 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 clap. We'll add the clap sounds one of these days. This is my guy. So, Gerald, thank you very much for doing this, man. This is it's an opportunity for me to kind of just have a conversation with you, one that I've kind of wanted to have for a long period of time. Seeing that we both came from different careers, and now we just so happen to be in the same career. And again, at that point in time when we were in different careers, we were friends, and then we stopped being friends, and then we became friends, and now we're in the same career. It's just so crazy.
Let's just say we reconnected.
We reconnected.
Right,
That's
right.
it. We reconnected.
See?
But Gerald Henderson Jr. is the co-founder of Henderson Ventures, which is a luxury real estate firm here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome, Gerald.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on, man.
No, anytime.
About time I get on the podcast.
You know,
we've known each other for so long.
I know, it's crazy, man. You know, I think it was that portion where we needed to reconnect that got us to this point. But yeah, I want to start from the beginning. And when I say the beginning, I don't necessarily mean, you know, real estate, basketball, things like that. Just who are you?
So you want to go back to when I had hair?
Yeah, that Gerald.
The
Tyler Hansborough. You know, even before that. But just, you know,
really?
give me who is Gerald Henderson Jr.
Man, Gerald Henderson Jr. is a kid from Philly, right outside of Philly.
215
610
Hey.
484.
There you go. Okay.
Sound like Ludacris.
Yeah.
You know, I'm from Philly, man, and grew up in a great house. My dad was a dude from Richmond, Virginia. Played in the NBA for 13 years, and was a great father. My mom's from Syracuse, New York. One of 7 siblings.
Dang.
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So got a big family, but grew up in Philly, man, and just like any other Philly kid, Philly sports, baseball, which I was just all right at, football, golf, soccer, all of them. Love sports. And, you know, as I got older, golf became my priority, and was playing junior tournaments and did the whole thing around the country, and then got to an age where I had to pick between golf and basketball. And, you know, I picked basketball because I was just told my dad, I was like, man, golf's too hard, man.
Yeah. People don't understand that.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm a good player, man, but these other dudes is nice too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, all I knew was that in 7th grade I could dunk already, and I was like, this may be a little bit smarter and easier for me to do. So I went that path, and you know, ended up in high school becoming an All-American. Went to high school with Wayne Ellington, who ended up going to UNC.
He's a junior too, right? Isn't he a junior?
Wayne Ellington Jr. Yes, sir. Man, he went to Carolina. I went to Duke. We both had really good careers there. He ended up winning a national championship. I got drafted in 2009 to the Charlotte Bobcats at the time. And, you know, the rest is history. I had an 8-year career, dealt with a bunch of injuries, and it was a fun ride. It went by really quickly, but it's all you can ask for. You get in a life like that and make it to the highest level. You put in so much work to get there, and I feel like I made the most of it. I gave it all that I could. Injuries kind of slowed it down a bit for me, but I'm blessed and thankful to have played 8 years. And then the current Gerald is a real estate firm owner alongside my wife, Nilu Henderson. She's our broker in charge. And, we had always done some passive investing as I was in the NBA. But then as I had some time off kind of deciding whether I was going to retire or not, we kind of came together. She had been a real estate agent for 6-7 years at that point. So
very successful too.
Absolutely. Yeah. She does her thing. I'll tell you, she can sell, boy. That's how she was selling me on something the other day. I was like, man, you could sell water to a well. And then I went on and gave her 10 more. But, she's great. And we decided, let's put this together. We were doing some small development also at the time, some flips and a little bit of, new construction and spec homes. So we said, let's just put this together and see if we can do this ourselves. And so we did that right at the start of COVID. And it's kind of crazy at that time because the housing market had dipped, kind of sitting still for a while, but then it popped off in these last 2-3 years like crazy. So, it's been an amazing ride so far. I'm loving what I'm doing.
No, that's cool. So even kind of branching off of what you were talking about, going from basketball to real estate and you being an investor, you hear a lot of stories about professional athletes, period, who don't know how to invest their money or don't know where to invest their money. How did real estate become something that you knew could, you didn't know this was coming, but how did you, what happened in your thought process to make sure that you were setting yourself up for your future and chose real estate?
Yeah. So, like I said, when the second I touched down in the NBA and got some money, I was blessed to be able to have my dad by my side, who's done investing since, the 80s.
Oh, okay.
And so he kind of has always been, and this is in life in general and all things, but he's kind of been that kind of guide and advisor for me, so I could bring him things and, discuss them, and, he'll give his opinion, and then he can go to some of his advisors that he's used throughout time and been helpful to him. So I've always kind of used him as a resource, and, it's just, real estate has always been part of our family. My mom's a real estate agent. My dad was a real estate agent, didn't really sell, but would, pick up things where my mom needed help and whatnot. But my mom's still an agent to this day. She's with Compass as well.
She has a Henderson in Philly, right?
Yeah, Marie Henderson Group.
Group. I see you posted a bit. Okay, that's your
recently partnered with the Philly Union Soccer Club.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm super excited for her for that, because that's a big deal. They're the Eastern Conference champions in the MLS.
Sound like you about to compete with mom and try to.
I'm trying to do what she's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But she's been doing her thing in Philly for a long time. But for us, I found the interest in like real estate development, and so we do some small stuff there, but I've really found interest in putting together the real estate team, in recruiting and, figuring out how we get our agents to sell more, and, what's the next event we're going to put on? What's the, what's our content shoots look like? All that stuff that kind of curates business. And, because in the end of the day, we're selling real estate, but at the same time, this is like we always try to tell our agents, like, hey, there's a lot of business that can go on just from your real estate contacts. So it's not just real estate that you're going to make money off of. And we try to create a scenario that allows our agents to, network and be around some people that they may otherwise be around.
Right.
So that's what we try to create here at Henderson Ventures.
That's cool. Yeah. And I've seen you recruit.
Yeah.
And I think
I try to recruit you.
Yeah. I didn't want to say that, but yeah,
I've seen you recruit.
I've been on the receiving end of those phone calls, those recruiting calls, and I think it's important to what I love about you and how you come off is you're very genuine. One, you played basketball in the Charlotte area and then chose to make Charlotte your home after your career.
Yeah,
I think that is huge. I mean, you see that Charlotte is so cool for stuff like that because you still see Muggsy around town. You still see Dell around town. So a lot of these guys like yourself who played for the home team and then made Charlotte their home, you see them stay involved in the community throughout, since they've finished playing basketball. But it's so cool from my point of view with looking at what you're doing is we share the same space, right? I'm a business owner, you're a business owner, but we have different networks. And I think I love that about real estate. Is the fact that there really is no competition. There's millions of houses out here that people can buy, and your network is your network. Sure. This is why this platform that I'm trying to create, this is more collaboration over a competition. So, but I'd love to be able to show off your brand and say, this is Henderson Ventures. This is my guy, Gerald. He does his thing and I do my own thing. Do you have, when you recruit these agents, what are the things that you look for in agents to represent your brand?
Well, our culture is very important. That's any conversation that we have with any agent, that's at the forefront. We kind of, we feel like we do things the right way here. We move in respect and doing things ethically. And, we want people, when they think about Henderson Ventures, that all our agents are hardworking and, respectful and do things the right way.
Well, we do.
Thank you.
We do.
I appreciate it. And we're sharp.
You're definitely sharp, but that's how we perceive Henderson Ventures. I know that's how I perceive them.
I appreciate that.
So yeah, no doubt. Now, and again, this is one of those things where it's not on the script, but it's more conversational. Sure. You mentioned Compass. You actually were a standalone brokerage at first.
Yep.
And then you decided to become a part of a bigger brand with Compass. What led to that decision, or is that something that kind of gave you a boost that what you were looking for, or is it something that you didn't know ahead of time when starting your brokerage that said, you know what, I'm gonna go this route?
Yeah. So the biggest thing for us is like I told you, we built this kind of from the ground up, right in the beginning of COVID. And we were lucky, I think, to be able to be going through this market. I think all of us. But we had, built some pretty good systems and we thought our business was doing great. And then Compass approached us. And, particularly at that time, we had some changeover, in the back end. And there was some things that we were going to put in place, a CRM, some of these other systems, change some marketing stuff. And, all these things you got to go out and buy. And so when Compass approached us, obviously we had seen them and heard about them. But, Compass has an amazing platform that has all of those things in one. They put together some of the best minds in tech, brought them to Compass, and created this platform that is invaluable to agents. And, Robert Refkin, the CEO, is all about making the life of an agent easier and allows you to free up your time. So that was a huge thing. Also, the culture over there is great. Very diverse kind of group, and that we like that as well. And then on top of that, it just the Compass network is huge. It's a huge national brand, and we just came from the retreat probably about 3 weeks ago, and it's just amazing how many people are within the firm. There's like 3,000 real estate agents there, and your ability to connect with everybody. You got workshops and social events at night, and the amount of agents that I connected with there. We had 3 other of our agents there, and it's a great referral source. And and then also other business from there. That's what I try to tell our agents, like I mentioned, like we can sit and obviously we want to figure out how we can sell more real estate, but there's so many things outside of that when you connect with people on the business side, you see what else is going on with them. Maybe there's another investment, a tech investment that you can get in, or, maybe you just create friends, which is another part of life that, is important. So we just thought it was overall just a great pickup for us. And my wife, as broker in charge, any more support that she can get that they also provide is helpful.
It is. And I want to bring up a thing you just said. You were talking about different opportunities that can come from that expanded network. And I think as real estate agents or business owners as we are, it's important to connect the community.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just, going out to sell a house. We need to know, the newest business that's coming to town. We need to know the place where you can go get your hair cut. Right. So when you have a client that's moving into town or relocating, you need to be able to know the community and what's around. And I think that's also important. Looking back from this point to the beginning, is there anything that you would change? Would you have started at Compass, or do you think that the route to Compass would have changed anything or would have changed if you would have switched some stuff up? But is there something that stands out that you would have changed from the beginning?
That's hard to say, man, because if you switch something up, then the route that you took, the things that you learned going through it that way, you lose. So, maybe absolutely, we would have gone back and from the jump, maybe started with Compass, saved some money. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff. But see, even still though, there's a learning curve no matter which way you go.
Yeah.
But, I'd say, even just within the firm, there's a million things that you learn along the way that you're not going to learn unless you experience it.
Yeah. This is such a trial and error business,
it's like that with everything.
Yeah.
What works, what doesn't work, where, are we getting return on this? What are we wasting money on? You know what I'm saying? We've
the
all
big
done
check
that.
mark.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're still doing that.
Yeah.
But it's because real estate, is a business where it's ever changing.
Yeah.
So we're in a market now where, it's a buyer's market now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And
so
last night it was
right.
seller's
You know what I'm
market.
saying?
It's crazy, yeah.
So now you got to make adjustments. And now we're, in admin meetings figuring out, okay, what kind of information can we be giving to our agents now to have them relay to their buyers and their clients. And, it's continuous work.
Yeah.
But, you keep track of it and, hopefully 10 years from now, we got all the data that says, hey, this is what worked during this time. This is what worked during that time. And so, it's a lot of trial and error.
What tools do you take from your previous career in the NBA and kind of implement into the real estate business?
I'd say the biggest thing is the work ethic. We were just talking about, me and my wife the other day, as a basketball player, professional basketball player, and I was doing this in college and high school too, there's not like you put these hours out there for business hours, 9 to 5, right? That doesn't really exist in basketball, and other professional sports and any other business. If you want to like excel, if you want to make it to the NBA, your hours can't be regular hours, or you're just gonna be regular. That's just how it works. You know what I'm saying?
Name a regular NBA player.
No, you're gonna be regular, like not make it to the NBA.
Oh, no.
Your career gonna be done in high school or in college.
Yeah,
that's
right.
just how it works.
Right.
You have to be committed to just what it takes to get better, and that's overtime, man.
Yeah.
I think that, like coming in here, like I got in here at 10 o'clock today, but I'm up doing stuff. I'm texting my assistant at 6 in the morning, like, hey, look, I need you to look this up, or texting my our ops manager, like, hey, look these 3 agents
Don't
up.
stop.
Let me get their numbers, and then when the kids go to sleep, I'm back looking at more stuff. If you just, if you commit to the minimum, your
right.
firm's going to be minimum.
That's it. Well, your life, everything.
Right.
I tell people all the time, and my favorite thing to say to people is real estate is easy. The commitment to being good at real estate is the hard part.
Right.
And I want to shed light on you. So again, people outside looking in, people can always look at you and go, "Oh, well, he got it easy." No, man, like this is such a hard game. And because I've had these conversations with you, I'm like, no, I remember the beginning, like, hey, asking the questions of, what's something that agents like, we had conversations before this opened up. So it's hard to kind of just, nobody wants to be regular. And I think people don't understand what it takes to get to. I mean, I don't think I'm at the level of where you went to the NBA and the commitment you had to that. But I think when people look at what I've done and what you've done, they judge based off of, they think it's easy, or they think you took a shorter path, you know, and it's like,
or only what they can see.
Only what they can see. And it's like, man, you don't understand the arguments I have with my wife because the computer light is too bright because I'm in the bed, so things like that. It's like people don't understand this stuff.
No.
So, what do you think the biggest thing you've learned since becoming a business owner? Because I mean, in the NBA, you've got a schedule. Yeah. You go to practice, you go home, and you do other things. But being a business owner where you don't have to clock in and clock out, what do you think the biggest thing you've learned?
Well, just those little examples it's all on me.
Yeah.
I have a great business partner in my wife, but she's also got a lot of things that she's doing.
Yeah.
She owns a Stage Designs, which is an interior design and staging company, furniture company.
You can shout it out. What's the name of it?
Stage of Designs. I made sure I said it clearly. Stage of Designs, SOD.
Yeah.
And then right next door, we got Ziba Luxury Salon and Spa, which is another one of our businesses that we own. So come by Ziba. It's right in Piedmont Row, South Park.
I think I will.
Right behind South Park Mall.
And right next to Henderson Ventures.
Absolutely. And then slide through here, and then we can find you your new house.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go by and get my hands.
There you go. We'll take care of you.
Yeah, there you go.
But because of that, I try to stay on top of everything. It's how she does a ton, and she does a lot of work individually with our agents. She's the broker in charge, and she figures out in a lot of ways marketing stuff. How can we market ourselves better? That's her background. But I just try to make sure that all the things that are going on, I got a hand in, and I'm seeing what's going on. But basically, the strength or weakness of our team, wherever it's at, wherever we're lacking, I put it on myself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what's going on. If there's a problem, how can we fix it?
Yeah, well, you have to. Us. Your last name is on the building and on the product. You got to protect that as well.
You're right.
Speaking of those weaknesses and just the vulnerability of being who you are, or just being vulnerable at this point in time, I want to ask you a question. What are some of the biggest missteps, or I won't call them losses because you are where you are, but what are some of the biggest missteps that you've made that you go, I missed out on that one? Even with real estate, it doesn't have to just be real estate, but what are those ones you go, I missed out on that one, or I should have did this better, or I should have got that agent, or it doesn't matter. What are some of those things where you feel like you just missed and you would want to redo?
This will probably not be in like a business sense, but just like, I mean, you probably done this too, and a million other people in Charlotte.
What's that?
Think about, you've been here forever. I've been here since 2009. All of the real estate that you've seen, okay, whether it's just a vacant lot or just some raggedy building, and you've just seen over time. I mean, Charlotte's been a construction site for
ever since I've been
15 years, 12, 15 years.
20 more.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And had I known some of this stuff, about real estate and how it goes up and down, and when the market's bad, that's when you buy. If you got some money.
Yep.
If in 2009, when I was getting
drafted,
come on, man.
You came in at the.
I was getting, come on, man. I was getting $200,000, $300,000 every 2 weeks.
Oh.
not just looking in and be like, yeah, let's just put it in the bank.
Let me call Wells Fargo and see what my bank account balance is today.
Making sure it gets in there.
Yeah.
Had I just like, and not even taking that money and just gone and buy stuff, but just leveraged off the money.
Yeah, man. Oh God.
You know what I'm saying? And just went and bought up freaking everything.
Yeah.
There was a condo that I was renting in 2012. It was in the Ratcliffe downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Bomb just sitting right over the green, what you call it, park right there. It had the Sears Duke Energy building right there.
Yep.
And Harvey Gantt Center's right across. And now that don't even push down even further.
Yeah.
Right. And I forget what it was going for. It was under $1 million, maybe. Man, that joint's probably $1.5 million now. And it's money. It was just been if anything, if we weren't going to be in there, just rent it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
There's endless. And now I just drive past and I just see stuff up in lots where things were there. Yep. Nothing was there before. And
this is crazy because you're coming from a perspective of somebody who, and I won't say comes from money, but your dad had money.
Yeah.
Your dad's in the NBA. This just speaks to the miseducation within our community.
Sure.
Right? I mean, you because just think about it. If your dad didn't go to the NBA and you had this opportunity to go to the NBA, you would be a high school kid going to college and just dropped $200,000, $300,000 every 2 weeks in your lap, and you have no education on money. So this is coming from somebody that does have education on money and still feels like he missed out on opportunities within real estate. But you know what's crazy? There's people out there who didn't miss those opportunities because of their proper education on real estate. And I think that's where we come into play, and we owe that responsibility to everybody in this community that we touch. We have to educate these people on things that they don't know. People think that material things, like the nicest car or whatever, the biggest house, people think that those things matter, but it's really the underlay, right? It's the equity in that house. It's the location. Man, I went to church. I grew up at Greater Mount Sinai Baptist Church, which is right off of West Boulevard. Okay, right across the street. It was smack dab in the hood. So to the back of it is Revolution Park. So the football fields. You probably drive past all the time. That football field at Revolution Park. I remember going to church every Monday night for youth stuff, Sunday mornings, this, that, and the third. And I mean, gangs. We would have a church function and the local gangs are fighting at the park.
Something popped off.
Something always popped off. We had Monday night youth meetings and it's gunshots, so we got to stay in the, but I didn't live there. That's where I went to church. My mom grew up in the black church and she wanted to find the church that just had it all. And I was like, all right, Mom, we there. This is it. But to look at what West Boulevard has become.
Yeah.
I saw the other day there was a $460,000 duplex at the corner of West Boulevard and South Tryon. I'm like, I remember.
New construction?
No, they just renovated it. It was I think it was a single family home they turned into a duplex. But even just looking at that, I remember West Boulevard and South Tryon. I remember before it was South End.
Right.
So to grow up in that area, and I didn't have money to invest, but to grow up in that area and remember what it was and to see what it is today, I always drive by and be like, man, this ain't the West Boulevard that I remember.
Right.
If I had money back then, I'd have did this, that. So, but I always wonder, what other people's, perspective is or perception on what they could have done or what they should have done differently. Man, so just, I appreciate you just taking this time to kind of have these conversations with me and be vulnerable and when this episode drops and people get a chance to see you in the state, I think people get a chance to get to know the real Gerald Henderson Jr.
Yes, sir.
I think this was a good episode. I think we need to do it again. I think maybe next time we do it on the golf course when the weather's nice.
I'm with that.
So yeah, man. So, but I appreciate you. We'll do it again, but we just want to close it out. And again, this is Keeping It Real Estate. So I got to do it that way because I want the emphasis. But no, again, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Appreciate you. Yeah.